Today, we are going to talk about something many English learners struggle with. Why do you understand English, but freeze when you speak? Why does everything feel slow? Why do you translate every sentence in your head? Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Maybe you understand English well. You know grammar, you know a lot of vocabulary, but when you try to speak, everything feels slow, and you translate every sentence from your language into English. Does that sound like you? In this video, I want to explain what thinking in English really means, what academic research actually says about it, and most importantly, how you can train your brain to think in English step by step. I will also share my own experience of learning a second language to fluency and what actually helped me. So what does thinking in English actually mean? It means this. Your brain can access English words and phrases quickly and automatically without needing to search for them every time. It's about access. When you translate in your head, your brain does two jobs. First, you think of the idea in your own language. Then, you look for the English words. That extra step takes time, and that is why speaking feels slow and difficult. Thinking in English means reducing that effort, and this is exactly where research helps us understand what is happening. A 2024 study looked specifically at what makes people fluent when they speak a second language. The researchers focused on something called cognitive fluency. In simple terms, they studied how quickly the brain can recognize and retrieve words in a second language. Here's what they found. Some learners rely mainly on controlled processing. That means their brain slows down to search for words and check choices. Other learners show more automatic processing. Their brain recognizes words faster and retrieves them with less effort. And the important result was this. Learners with more automatic word access spoke faster, with fewer pauses. The study did not say these speakers were more intelligent or that they knew more grammar or vocabulary. It showed that their brains were simply better trained. Their brains were trained to access English quickly. So when we talk about thinking in English, we are really talking about how good your brain is at finding English words without stopping to calculate. If you feel frustrated, please know this. You are not bad at English. Your brain just hasn't automated the language yet. Now let's talk about why translation slows you down. Translation is not bad. It is normal. At the beginning, it is very useful. But if translation becomes your main speaking strategy, it creates problems. Controlled processing uses more mental energy. That's why your speech may be correct, but slow, hesitant, and unnatural. Fluency improves when the brain doesn't need to stop and check every step. When I learned my second language, French, I translated everything at first. Every sentence, every thought. I could speak, but it felt heavy. I was always behind in the conversation. What changed everything for me was repetition and exposure. How much time I spent listening to my second language. I started hearing the same phrases again and again. I stopped building sentences word by word. I started using ready-made patterns. Slowly, my brain adapted. Not because I forced myself to think in my second language, but because I used it often and naturally. Now let's talk about practical advice you can actually use. Work on collocations. Your brain does not like isolated words or long lists of vocabulary. It likes predictable patterns. A collocation is a predictable combination of words. For example, we say heavy rain, not big rain. heavy and rain go together. When you learn phrases like make a decision, heavy rain, take responsibility, your brain starts to anticipate the next word. This reduces effort and speeds up word retrieval. That is exactly what research shows fluent speakers do better. For example, make a plan, set a goal, reach a goal, meet a deadline. You can check my Shadowing English Speaking Practice playlist. Learn them. Use shadowing. Shadowing means listening and repeating immediately out loud. No translation, no analysis, just reaction. This is one of the main techniques I use to become fluent in French. It trains your brain to move from controlled processing to more automatic processing. And that is exactly what we want. Speak as much as you can, with a partner or alone, every day if possible. Speaking, even with mistakes, forces your brain to find words faster. Faster retrieval builds fluency, and that's what thinking in English really is. Use English stories for input. This is exactly why I post 2-story videos every month on this channel. You don't need to understand every word. In fact, understanding 60 or 70% is good. It pushes your brain to predict meaning, use context, and fill in the gaps. This is how your brain learns to connect ideas directly to English without translation. You need English input every day. Give yourself a realistic goal. Thinking in English is not a switch, it's a gradual change. Some days you will translate, some days you won't. That's normal. The goal is not perfection. The goal is less effort and more flow. Thinking in English isn't a myth. Research shows that fluency grows when your brain becomes faster at accessing words. If you train that speed through repetition, patterns, and real use, your brain adapts. And one day, you won't be thinking about English anymore. You'll just be speaking. If this video has helped you, make sure you subscribe so I can help you more this year. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.